Hello, friends. How do you do? Welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Institute. In this hidden time where many people have become experts, many young people have become coaches, many people have become master classes organizers, and then they do it for like 2 months, 5 months, then they jump to other things. I'm here to talk about this. If you're listening to my podcast for the first time, I'll say welcome. If you're a returning listener, I'm going to say, how do you do? How have you been keeping safe? Yeah, it's glad to have you here again. So back to the issue of coaches and master classes of 2 to 5 months with about 1 to 2 years experience. The thing is today, people just learn a skill maybe like 1 month, in short sometimes in like 1 week they begin to be experts in that skill and they start organizing events around the skill. It's awesome to organize events, it's awesome to empower people, but I want to speak to excellence. I want to speak to becoming a master in what you do today, focusing on the long term, and growing to be a person that they can call a legend in your field, in what you do. Someone you can look to and say, it's a thought leader, it's an influencer in this space, because over the years he or she has gained expertise, has put to practice whatever he's going to teach, has learned from himself and from the mistakes of others. So I want to speak to excellence. I want to speak to not going beyond just enough, going beyond just enough to going to, I want to do more, I want to be more. I want to challenge you today. I'll tell you something Robin Sharma says. He says, learn to be monomaniacally focused on some things. You want to just focus on in marks of 2 or 3 things at a particular time, get very good at it, develop competence and expertise in these things, so that when people need anybody they need to talk to, they can look at you and see that you've positioned yourself as someone of expertise in that particular area. Now let me give you an example. In this age and time when people are becoming like relationship coaches, life coaches, and they really don't have so imagine you're 18 years old, you're in school, and then you're already a relationship expert. How many relationships have you gone through, or how many relationships have you been able to observe in the real sense of it? Or you become even a life coach, and then people have issues and you're giving them insight, but your insight is coming from a place of very minimal experience. You won't be able to offer full value to these people. So today I just want to talk to you about building expertise, going beyond just enough and focusing on being more, right? So it starts from something. You need to know, okay, what do I want to achieve? So if it's that, and I'm sure your goal is not just to be like a masterclass organizer or a what you call it now, or just a coach without value, right? You want to know, what do I want to achieve? Then who are the people that I want to offer value to? So people, it's fine, you just gain expertise within a week or 2. You learn this particular skill, maybe it's how to knit or how to do graphic design, and within 2 weeks you're already an expert. You know what I'm talking about, and you're already going to train people. Now this will limit first and foremost your clientele, because it's not everybody that's going to come learn from you because of your years of experience. Your clientele will then be limited to people that have had no experience, which is also fine if that's your goal. Or you're looking to reach out to people that they want to see someone who has had experience, who has tried and probably failed at some of these things and knows what the clients want. Do you get? So you want to know, who do I want to target? And I think it's always good to target like the best, right? Or it's good to target people that, that would value what you do, right? So I think that's very important. So know yourself. Self-clarity is very important. You want to ask yourself, okay, so now I've learned this skill. How can I put it to practice? Can I use it to do something first? So maybe I've learned how to do graphic design. Can I try my hand at 1 or 2, 3 graphic designs, not just for myself, but probably for my friends? Or even if for myself, but standard ones, there are rules to this thing. Now let me give you an example. I organize events, right? And so my friend, I have a friend who's a graphic artist who does it like full time, that's his job. So when I do my first event I used Canva to create a flyer. This was in 2017. And then thankfully I showed it to my friend and I was like, no, that's not gonna work. And he had to like pick up that design and totally transform it. From him I learned there are several things like looking at the white space, looking at the alignment, looking at the font, looking at all of that stuff to ensure that my designs are on point. Now imagine that because I can use Canva to do like my blog flyers, I can use Canva to do certain stuff, I don't feel like, oh yes, I'm a badass graphic designer, I can design anything. Whereas I've not learned the basics of graphic design, I'll just be putting myself up for failure. Because imagine I'll do that flyer, I will then take it to social media and people will be like, nice event, but my flyer is not attractive enough. It doesn't have that potential to draw people that I'm looking to actually draw to my event. So it's important that even as you learn, you want to ensure you grow and you groom yourself, right, before you begin to call yourself an expert. Now, over the years, I've began to learn more about design. I began to learn, this is how something should look like, this is what it shouldn't look like. But I'm still not going to call myself an expert because, I don't do that professionally, or I don't even do it every time. I just do it for myself. However, there's also a flip side to that. So talking about like website designs. So I'm a web developer. So I do more back-end development, APIs, web applications using the .NET stack. But I also build websites with WordPress. But so far, I've built websites for myself. Now, websites are sort of a little different because now, in my website, I've not just done one website. I've done more than one. I'll be able to show people that I know what I'm doing. And again, because of course I'm a web developer, so I'm coming from a place of expertise. I've been writing codes for like 5 years now, even more. Started writing codes officially, like professionally in 2013, before I graduated from school. So that's a lot of time for me to have learned some things that I've put into my website. I still don't call myself like a WordPress expert, even though I'm beginning to now build sites for my friends, right? But of course I'm not a beginner now, so I'll call myself like an advanced person. So being able to know where you are, it also helps you to learn more. Now imagine you're a developer and you just started coding for about 2 years, and you're going to interview at an enterprise, at an organization, a big organization where they do a lot of development. So you've been coding, let's say you've been doing JavaScript, Node.js for 2 years, and they're asking you what's your level of expertise, and then you go, I'm a 9/10. And then they begin to shoot you questions of a 9/10, expected 9/10 person, and then you're just babbling. You just put yourself up for failure. It wouldn't hurt if you say I'm a 7/10, I'm a 6/10. It just shows that you know where you are, and you show that even with my 6/10, I'm very, very good. Instead of just so this is because I've been at interviews where people say, they are 7/10, and they begin to interview them, and they're like, I'm like, no, bro, you put yourself up for this, right? So you need to be able to, know where you are, do self-analysis, and have self-clarity. Then you need to aim for personal mastery. What do I mean by personal mastery? You need to aim to, first and foremost, be the best version of yourself. You want to give to people, you must first ensure that you've developed yourself. You must ensure that you are in a place where when you're giving, you're not giving from an empty vessel. You want to ensure that you've worked on yourself, right? So whatever you're looking to offer, whatever skill, there's a place of first ensuring that you are good enough. You have enough expertise. So for instance, I want to do a speech on goal setting. Now, I would do that speech comfortably because first and foremost, it's something I've practiced for so long. But now, imagine that I've not practiced it for so long and I have to give a speech on it. That means I have to go do a lot of research. I'm not just going to say, oh, well, it's not goal setting, I can do it, I'm just going to come speak. No, you're going to put in a lot of work. You have to ensure you do your research. You have to understand who your audience are. You want to know, okay, how do I ensure that I deliver value to the people that will listen to me? Even if you know a lot, even if I've known a lot, I still have to do my research, right? What I'm trying to do today is just show you that don't assume that you know it all and then you're just good enough. You have to ensure that there's a place for personal development. The principle of Kanye, as I always say, the principle of continuous and never-ending improvement. It is very critical. It is very, very critical. You can just wake up and say, oh, I'm good enough. Oh, I've got 40 years of experience and that's enough. No, you're going to start drying out because if you don't keep learning, you start dying. So how are you going to ensure that you keep learning? How are you going to ensure that you keep adding value to yourself? The more you add value to yourself, the more you're able to add value to the world. So personal mastery is very, very critical. And then to achieve personal mastery, you also need self-discipline. You need to be able to put your body on that in such a way that, when there are times when you just want to laze around and then you remember, oh, I've got a greater goal. I got this task I need to complete. Fine, you need to rest. But when you're done resting, you're not going to just laze around, just doing nothing. You have to be self-disciplined to be the best in your field, to be the best in what you do. So at work, you want to aim to be the best. In your career, in any space you are, you want to aim to be the best. You want to push yourself. You want to go the extra mile. That's the way to stand out. Everybody will do normal, but for you want to tell yourself that just enough is not enough, right? I will say that again. Just enough is not enough. How much more are you going to put in? How much more are you going to put in so that when you're coming with your colleagues, there's something that makes you stand out. You've worked on yourself, you're delivering value, and then you're going the extra mile. That's what even makes you ready for your next level. If not, you're just going to be on the same level, doing the same thing every single time. So now, like I've said it, you're going to ensure your self-discipline. It's time to cut down on that social media time if it is not adding value. You know what I want you to do? Let me tell you something I usually do. So when I start doing social media, I look at the time. So maybe I'm working from home and I just get tired and I just need a distraction. So I pick up my phone and I look at the time. Oh, it's actually 12 o'clock. Cool. So I start chatting. I start looking through my Instagram or Twitter. And then I look again. I'm saying, what? It's 12:45 already. How did it get to 12:45? I mean, wait, what? And I'm like, oh, Esther, make sure that in another 5 minutes you wrap up everything you're doing. Right? And then I look again. I'm like, what? It's 1 o'clock. I thought I was going to wrap up in 5 minutes. And that's one thing that actually helps me to realize how much time. Sometimes I don't stop, but it makes me realize this is how much time I'm spending on social media, whereas I could do some other things, right? So begin to track the time you spend on social media. It is very helpful. Another thing you can do is now go to your phone settings. Most phones, I don't know if it's most phones, but I know my phone has this place where I can set my time. I can set a time limit to how much time I want to spend on a particular application. So if I say for Facebook I want to do just 30 minutes per day, at the end of 30 minutes, a cumulative of 30 minutes, it's going to close the application. I'm not going to get any notification, I'm not going to get any alert, and I'm not going to use the application for that day again. Of course, I can increase the time limit, but then there's a reason why I set it at the start. So, setting the time limit for how many hours you want to spend on WhatsApp. You want to spend nothing more than 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours. Yeah, just so you can just do that. It'll help you to be better disciplined, Then of course, after you've now learned to be disciplined, you need to read more. Read more in your particular chosen field. Read more about things going on in the world. Read and read. Become someone of content. That's another thing we don't have in this age. You have people that just try to talk, but when you engage them, you realize, oh, this one ain't got no content, bro. You get what I'm talking about? There's no depth to them. And that's very, very sad, because we are the leaders of tomorrow. And like I said, you can only give what you have. So you have to learn to be a person of content, develop good relationships with people, read. That's social media time. So for instance, what people that I follow on my social media, when I go to my Instagram, any content, most of the content I'm seeing are either adding value to me, or I'm picking something for them, or sort of in some way adding value. And that's a way of maximizing again your social media time. Who are you following? Are you following someone that when you just go there, your energy is just gone because what you've watched is not, it doesn't have any positive energy in it at all. So you have to ensure that you're becoming a person of depth. Reading, so be monomaniacally focused on 2 or 3 things and get very good at it. And then follow the right people. Who are the people that are doing very well in that field that you're interested in? Follow them, observe them, learn from them, if possible, engage them. And then just aim to be better. And that's where we as young people begin to become people that people can listen to and be like, oh my God, I gained value. She's so full of value. He's so full of value. Like, I just listen to him and I'm like, whoa. Do you know? So someone reached out to me recently, someone who listens to our podcast, and special shout out to you. I know you will listen to this, so special shout out to you. And then she reached out to me recently and was like, thank you, Esther. Listening to you, just having conversations with you, I appreciate them, because I'm always picking something that I want to do, picking something that I'm going to just go put to practice or learn. And that for me is good feedback, because it shows that I'm adding value in my little way, right? I may not have like a big mentoring platform, because I'm probably not ready for that, but in my little way, which is what we are called to do. We first work on ourselves and then we begin to give value to others. Because now imagine you have a cup that you keep pouring water into. At a particular time, that cup is going to get full. And what then happens? There's an overflow. So you want to be able to give from your overflow, because when you begin to give from the main cup, very soon that cup is going to get dried up and you're going to be dried up. And I'm sure you don't want that. So, ensuring that you try to fill up yourself with good content, positive energy, good relationships, and, just get better. Just get better. And that's the way to go. So that's what I want to share with you today. Learning to just go beyond enough, go beyond just enough. Aim for excellence. At work, you want to be the girl that they say, if you're looking for someone to get the job done and put in a little bit extra, that's the girl. If you're looking for the guy that would, put his efforts into ensuring that the presentation is top notch. If it's that person that you want to see his graphic design is badass, or codes very little bugs, and it's up to standard, then they want to be able to refer to you. If you're looking to be that kind of person, then you got to put in the work. Don't just be the half-baked person that feels like, oh, I've done 1 year and I've got the experience. Babe, bro, you have 50 years to go, and you have to ensure that you develop depth in what you do. So thank you for listening. It's always a pleasure to share with you. Cheers to excellence. Cheers to living our best lives. So follow me on social media at Estitude on Twitter, Estitude_ on Instagram. Let's chat. Let's add value to each other, right? So you can also drop me a comment by recording your message. I'll get them and listen to them. So it's a pleasure sharing with you. Cheers, and have a great week or weekend ahead wherever you're listening from. Love and light always, Estitude.